Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Back then, game wardens furnished their own vehicle, their own maintenance, their own gasoline.
One of these kids, they catch a fish and they're jumping up for joy and laughing. That's what this is all about.
It's always unnerving, you know, when you check a group of hunters and the hunter that's hiding evidence is a 13-year-old.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
Hello, I'm Chad Jones, Colonel of Law Enforcement for the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. I oversee the 551 game wardens and administrative staff that work to protect our natural resources all across the state of Texas. Over the years, the job of a Texas game warden has changed, as have the wardens themselves. Today, we're more highly trained, more involved in our communities, and more diverse than ever. Let's meet some Texas game wardens, past and present.
I started to work 30 years ago this June, and at $90 a month and $75 for the use of my private automobile. Wasn't a whole lot of money, but that was the good old days.
What were your thoughts looking back at the film?
I knew all of them. You know, I thought that was good old days back then. We were still under the kind of the old style of law enforcement. We drove our own cars. We didn't have radios. Certainly no cell phones. There was no way to summons help. If they got into trouble with a bunch of hunters or anybody, you know, bank robbers, whoever, then they were out there on their own.
I started to work at 53 at $220 a month. And I was a little more fortunate than you fellas. I was purchasing uniforms at that time, but I was driving my own car at 6 cents a mile.
Well, the 6 cents a mile wouldn't cover all of the cost of operating a vehicle, especially out where game wardens work. And that's in the country, on dirt roads, brush. Back then, game wardens furnished their own vehicle, their own maintenance, their own gasoline. In addition, they furnished their own firearms.
State Game Warden, move around, place your hands on the tailgate and pickup, please.
If they needed anything else,
Nice looking buck you have there.
handcuffs or anything, then they had to provide that themselves. The department didn't furnish anything except a badge and a law book.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Areas that they worked were so huge at that time, just not even comparable to what a game warden's area of responsibility today.
He should always be a gentleman, unless the situation demands otherwise. Then he must be capable of taking care of himself and always in control.
Back then, you know, you were just on your own. You catch them or not catch them, one or the other. And the big problem was that when the department started furnishing vehicles in 1961, they bought 6-cylinder Fords. And those things, the top speed that I ever heard of was 81 miles an hour. And very often the lawbreaker didn't even know that he'd been in a chase. I mean, he was just driving normal speeds and outrun the game warden. That's how we used to stop cars. Not everybody had red lights and sirens and that sort of thing. So the department furnished flags like that, and we would stand out and hold them out, and people would stop. That's the only thing we had.
The Texas coastline is the third longest in the nation. It's the duty of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's game wardens to enforce the laws concerning hunting, fishing, and water safety in this area, just as they do inland.
In Corpus Christi, I was stationed there for 11 years, and we picked up lots of nets, hundreds of thousands of feet every year. They've set those nets out there and catch just bushels and bushels of black drum and then trout and redfish. Numbers started to decline. That's when sportsmen finally woke up to what was going on and really cooperated with the state in passing a good law and providing the means of enforcing it.
Oh, I have a stomachache.
You okay, man?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, just a minute. Glenn, that's for you.
Game warden wives are really a boon to the department.
Yep.
They spend a lot of time answering calls, giving out information, operating radio.
On the way right now. All right, back.
Aren't you going to eat supper with us first?
I gotta go to work. We'll see y'all later.
And they would dispatch game wardens, and even if there wasn't, didn't have anything to do with their husband, they would still dispatch for other game wardens. And they're just a really free source of labor.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department operates one of the toughest training academies in the United States. The game wardens of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department are a dedicated group of men.
Back then, the biggest concern was, of course, the female game wardens. And everybody thought that there would be homes wrecked and things would really go down the tube. That did not happen. And in fact, I pinned the badge on the very first one.
Is this working out all right? You doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Bringing back good memories of these characters watching this?
Oh, yeah. Every game warden that's been on for any length of time has stories like that.
I'm going to tell you a little story about, it's a true story. Not a big story, but it's a true story. I tried to catch him out for several weeks, and finally I went in there horseback one night, cold, misty night. And I walked over and poured it on his nets and set them on fire. And he went back into town. He said, I've met something down on the creek today. He said, that fella's something else. I said, not only took my nets away from me, said he got my gasoline and burned them up.
There's lots of stories still floating around.
Well, like the rest of you, when you tell these stories through the years, there's usually so many humorous ones, it's hard to say which one might be the funniest after all.
You know, there's so many stories out there that people tell on game wardens and game wardens tell on themselves. Really nice to remember all of those times.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is proud of these officers of the outdoors. The Texas Game Warden.
There you go.
Yeah, I caught my first fish today. I caught another one fish today, and it's awesome.
Hi. Laura. Laura, nice to meet you. Come on up. Y'all want to carry your poles? My name is Kathleen Stuman, and my event here today, it's a kit fish for the special needs and also for the special needs adults.
There's nothing more satisfying than to see a 50-year-old adult catch their first fish.
Got one over there. Looks like Nancy got one.
I've been helping her and she's been helping me, and I call her my daughter.
There you go, Lindsay. Nice. Big it is. All right. Awesome. Yes. Give me a fist bump. All right. I used to go fishing a lot, deep sea fishing with my dad. I enjoyed that and just being outside, and I thought it was pretty cool when a couple of game wardens came over to the boat and they wanted to see the fish in our ice chest, just checking it out and asking my dad questions. And I was just sitting there like, okay, what did we do wrong? And he goes, no, that's their job. And I thought, man, and then they drove off in a boat and I thought, man, that's cool.
That's a big one.
2 minutes.
Is that what you're cooking for dinner? Yes.
You want to catch another one? Let's catch another one then, right?
I started watching other fishing events with kids. Thought that was pretty neat, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. I started thinking about my dad and how I enjoyed fishing, and I wanted to bring the kids to enjoy that, what I enjoyed, to give back to him. Since he passed away with cancer, I wanted to kind of look at these children that have these needs.
Nice to meet you.
I think it's an honor to be a part of it, to be accepted as a game warden into this job, and I just wish my dad was here to see it. I think it would have blew his mind because he loved the outdoors so much too.
Hey.
It makes me feel good inside that one of these kids, I mean, if they catch a fish and they're jumping up for joy and laughing, I mean, that's what this is all about.
Awesome.
Here, about as east as you can get in East Texas,
Slam dunk!
9-year-old Dawson Hervey and his 3-year-old brother Hayden are hard at play.
Gosh.
Their mom Tracy is a school teacher.
All right.
And their dad Shawn is a Texas Game Warden.
I am trying to find a report done by the sheriff's office. I'm trying to help one of my landowners out.
Shawn keeps an office in the family home.
Hey, Dawson, bring me a calendar.
And he gets to show his kids what it means to be a public servant.
We're not wealthy by any means. I work every day. His mother works every day. But he hasn't ever wanted for anything. If he wants to go hunting, we go hunting. I make time for him and his little brother. I'll be down there probably about 30, 40 minutes. All right, bye.
What was that for?
It's one of them deals. I want him to understand that not all the kids that he's going to be around in life have had the opportunities that he's had.
Brought me a grounder.
His commitment towards his sons is absolute. But what makes Shawn stand out is his commitment to other people's children. Each year, Shawn takes kids hunting. Kids from Texarkana, from a nearby orphanage, even a teenager fighting cancer. He's introduced thousands of children to the outdoors. Some have never seen a deer. Others have never experienced stewardship.
If you teach a kid from the start the right way, you're not going to have problems. If you'll sit down and talk to your habitual violators, and they'll say, you know, why do you do it? It's all I've ever done. It's all I ever known. My dad did it this way. My grandpa did it this way. We've all done it this way.
His solution is simple.
You start with the kids. If you can break the cycle with the kids, then you stand a chance.
For Shawn, it's another chance to pay it forward to these kids and to his own.
Because my dad inspires me.
Let's go, buddy. Come on. I'm Christy Bales, and this is my canine partner, Ruger. Come on, gotta go. I've been a game warden for approximately 11 years, and I'm stationed in the Travis County area. He is a certified peace officer. You know, he's been commissioned. His badge number is K95. All of our dogs are very high drive. They need a job. The job that we give them is to use their nose. You know, it's just a win-win for everybody. I really enjoy K9 because, you know, you create a bond with your dog, you do a lot of training, and then when you get that call, you know, to go help another officer, you know, it's extremely rewarding. I served 4 years in the Air Force doing law enforcement, and I was exposed to K9 at that point. So that's really where my interest in K9 began. Our program started in 2013, and we did all of our training in Utah Post, which is equivalent to Texas DPS.
Good boy.
We have traveled there for narcotics, police search and rescue, instructor school. That's where we have received most of our training. Good boy, come on. Some of the calls that we have been on include illegal game searches, search and rescue of a missing person, including criminal tracks. We have also been on a lot of article recovery for evidence. The dogs can quickly locate items and cut down on search time. We assist a lot with water safety patrol. When we're out there trying to find boaters that are boating while intoxicated, they could also be impaired on controlled substances, and our dogs can help find those.
How y'all doing? Okay.
Good. We're gonna come aboard here for a second. Go. That's good hunts, yeah. Name is Sam Schonefeld, and I'm a Texas Game Warden. Let's go break. Blitz, who's my partner, he's with me every day. Come on. He's the one partner that will always keep you going. He's never tired, he's always ready to go. He's something that you need, and we need him up here or across the state, finding deer or shell casings or rifles or pistols. He's trained when he finds it, he lays down. If it's something on a wildlife basis, a deer or a blood drop or a shell casing, and all he knows is a reward pops up. Hey! Good. And he's ready to find something again. So growing up as a kid in East Texas, I could say I grew up in probably the best region of the state, the Piney Woods. Ready? Oh, man. When you're at the house, he gets just to be a part of the family. He gets to run around and play with other dogs, plays with my son Cooper. But then it comes to a point when you watch him out there, he's done. Where's Dad? It's time to go back to work, Dad. He still knows that he has a job to do, and his job is to go to work with me and find something. There we go. So we had a group of hunters come in. What we want Blitz to do is to work the boat, go to the largest source of odor. Let's go. So one thing you're going to notice is, let's go, come on, let's go. The amount of odor that's going to be all over the boat. Come on. Shotgun residue, come on. Ducks that have been there in the past and ducks that may be in there now. So we just used Blitz to see if they left anything behind. There we go. And sure enough, they left a duck in there. Good hunts, Blitz. So they were able to keep the bird, and it keeps them from getting a citation for waste of game. All in all, no violations, but it was a good find for the dog.
Today we're doing an organized group training. We rarely get to meet like this because we're all spread out across the state.
Game Warden Canine Search and Rescue, sending my dog, make some noise. That's good.
We couldn't do this type of work without the funding and generous donations from the public who donated to Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation.
Good job, buddy. Kermit, watch. Watch. I started in 1976, and I've done everything from confirmation to obedience to hunt tests to therapy dogs. Good girl, Carmen. And I always loved how the dogs can work with people, and they love to have jobs. And so part of the K9 unit is those wonderful dogs that, you know, help support the K9 officers and do their job. Come on, good girl.
When they first started them up, they were looking for funds to help the K9 units get started.
Good girl.
I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to honor Robin's involvement with dogs over the last 30 years and sponsor one of the K9 units for her. I would encourage everybody to help support these K9 units with the equipment and the dogs and the training that they need to perform their mission. It's amazing how many missions they perform in service to the general public.
What you got, Woodrow? You got the man? Oh, you got the man? Good boy.
So I got a call this morning from Sonny, the game warden out of Bastrop County, and he entered a property to check a group of dove hunters. You know, I continue to be en route because Sonny felt that maybe there was a chance that they hit a shotgun or something. So, you know, I was going to assist with Ruger to do an article search. How's it going, Sonny?
We got a 13-year-old. He just came out right now. He's claiming he wasn't hunting.
Okay.
I'm going to finish writing the ticket and see what they say.
Now, are they related in any way? Brothers or?
They're friends.
Okay. How y'all doing? State Game Warden, Christy Bales. How's it going?
You mind stepping out with this officer real quick?
How are you, young man?
I'm good.
So you doing any hunting today?
No, ma'am.
Not at all?
No.
Do you have a hunting license?
No, I do not.
Okay. Most of y'all don't have a hunting license. So I'm going to get my canine partner out, Ruger, just to clear the area and make sure that we don't find any shotguns or anything like that, okay?
All right.
So no hunting at all?
I have been doing a little bit of hunting.
Okay. Is your shotgun here so we can check it to make sure you got a plug in it?
I don't know where it is.
You don't know where it's at? Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you being honest about hunting, okay? What we're going to do is if you can just go back there and just stay with Officer Alanese, and then I'm going to get my canine out, okay? Okay. Come on. Oh, you ready to go to work? Huh? You ready to go to work? That's a good boy. Let's go. Ready? Revere. Anytime we go on a real deployment, it's a brand new area, new smells. He can feel our adrenaline and excitement. You know, it's a lot different than a training scenario. So he did very well. Good boy. That's a good boy. Yes, good job, buddy. Oh, that's a good Revere, buddy. As a canine handler, I will not touch the evidence because I don't want my fingerprints on it. I'll go back and contact Warden Alanese, but because there's only two of us, officer safety, I'll just go switch, watch the guys, put Ruger up, and he can come back and take photos and get the shotgun.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you a verbal warning. No ticket this time, but if it happens again, you will get a ticket. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll go ahead and step back over there.
It's very unfortunate that the individual that is hiding evidence is the minor, the 13-year-old. If the adults that he was with had hunter's education, this probably would have been avoided, and the young child would have been educated on the ethics of hunting. You know, several of the adults didn't have a hunting license, and it's just not a good example for, you know, that young 13-year-old. You ready? You ready? Go get it. Good boy. Come on. It's our scheduled day off. I like to take Ruger to the park and just let him run and be a dog and enjoy himself so he doesn't have any stress. Good boy. Today we're just out here throwing the ball and, you know, just letting him swim and have a good time. All of us Game Warden Canine units, we love what we do and we're very dedicated to serving the public. These canines are amazing animals and we are extremely proud to have them as our canine partners. Yeah, that's a good boy. Good job, buddy.
As you just saw, being a Texas Game Warden isn't just a job, it's a way of life. And we're always looking for folks, maybe like you, to come join us. That's it for this week's show. Thanks for watching.